welcome to Ringside Review, the only wrestling podcast on the internet. The only wrestling podcast on the internet. I'm joined here today by my co-host, don't piss him off, Slapnuts himself, Seth Holbrook.
Thank you. And I'm with my co-host, Waco's own Double M, Mike McBride.
Thank you very much. Well, we have. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been here.
Yes.
I had stomach issues.
Stomach bug, folks. Stomach bug. We're not saying it's a curse or anything, but it does kind of make sense to find out since who our guest is tonight.
Yes,
so.
You want to go right and introduce our guest?
Let's introduce our guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, WWE Hall of Famer and our special guest tonight, Papa Shango. Papa Shango, welcome.
High Priest Papa Shango.
It's time once again for everybody to get aboard the whole
Whoa.
What's wrong?
That's someone else.
That's the wrong gimmick.
Yeah. This is Papa Shango.
I'm Papa Shango.
There you go. Yeah, that's the man that we care and fear about, Papa Shango.
All right, we'll check back in with Papa Shango later in the show. In all seriousness, about Papa Shango, when you were a kid, how seriously did you take Papa Shango? Was he a scary? Because I think now looking back on it,
it's corny.
It's
hammed up.
It is so cheesy.
But
at the time,
there was only one other dark figure in the WWE. I'm sorry to interrupt, and it was Undertaker.
Is that a black joke? It was the only other dark figure?
No, as in darkness, as in the power of evil, the power
Coco
of
Beware is who you're going.
Stop it!
No, it is Black History Month, so we have a fine legendary black wrestler. And when I was trying to think about this because I remember I thought he was a little creepy when I was a kid.
He scared me a little bit.
I didn't think he was goofy.
No,
I thought he was a little goofy. Mm-hmm. And even as a kid, I thought that he'll never be a main eventer with that gimmick. But at the same time, there was a little part of me, I have to admit, that I was creeped out by him. And he really did seem like he could because he was a huge dude. He was
as big as an Undertaker at the time.
Yeah, he was.
They were fighting each other. It was like power of darkness versus the power of voodoo.
I think what killed it for me. I don't know if this was the moment. Mm-hmm. I was smartened up, as they say, as far as wrestling business is concerned. But when he did his angle with Ultimate Warrior,
with the casket.
Well, I'm referring to this is the one that stood out in my mind the most, and I was so creeped out by this as a kid.
Okay.
But I think it also exposed the business a little bit. It's when Ultimate Warrior started bleeding from the forehead.
I remember that.
And it was like the one time Ultimate Warrior wore a jacket.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this? What? And I remember as a kid going, he obviously has some kind of
device.
Yeah. He's got something in his.
And he's showing fear, and it's like, this is the Ultimate Warrior. He has no fear of no man. Because he's the Ultimate Warrior.
That's not. I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying, just the fact that he was bleeding from his face or whatever. And just happened to be wearing that jacket. That was goofy. Even when I was a kid,
that was goofy.
I was not having any of that.
It was fun.
That was not.
That was
good.
awesome.
Let me see if I can get a picture of that real quick.
Okay.
To go along with this. But Seth.
Yo.
There has been a lot of, not so much news as rumors this week.
Okay.
But before we get into the rumors, I guess we'll actually talk about legit news. I guess this is what our show's here for. We're Ringside Review.
Trying. We're actually trying to,
We're trying.
That's
guys.
Our
show's motto is we're trying.
We're not trying to botch it up.
I guess the big story coming in today is Double J, Jeff Jarrett, is in the Hall of Fame now.
Oh, yes.
Or he will be inducted.
He will be inducted in the Hall of Fame. I'm actually happy about this.
I have a question for you.
Yes. He really did hit Beetlejuice in the head with a guitar.
That answers my question.
All right, there you go.
Do you want to just wrap up the show? Or
good night, everybody.
Is Double J just defend his Hall of Fame candidacy for me?
Okay.
Is he a worthy Hall of Famer? Because based off of just his WWE stuff, I would say no.
I say no. He's mediocre at best.
But he's done so much outside WWE. I mean, he started his own wrestling company.
He did, TNA.
You know, he went to WCW, and you know, it was like,
Oh God, the whole. What was the pay-per-view where he?
oh yes, he laid down.
He laid down for Hogan,
I
and
think
Hogan
it was one
just,
of the Bash of the Beaches.
Bash of the Beaches.
Bash
Yeah,
at
yeah, I
the
think it was,
Beach.
and Hogan just flats out goes, you know, saying,
Yeah,
"This is the reason why the
that was
company."
terrible.
Oh, it was so bad, and then, oh, Vince Russo's there to fuck it up even more. Pardon my language, but yeah, he does. The one thing I know about Jeff Jarrett, besides stealing the dance of Ric Flair and other things, wasn't he supposed to be like taking over for Ric Flair's mantle as the next Nature Boy, the next Blonde Ambition, the next,
Well,
you know?
he did use the figure 4.
Yes, he did.
So,
But
I don't know. It's hard to say.
But he was always against WWE ever since he left on bad terms with the company. That was his goal in life was like, well, if WCW, I'll go with them. Like, they can't do it. I'll spend my own money and make my own company.
Well, do you remember how he got that money?
Oh, wow.
There's a story behind this, how he got that money. So,
okay.
in WWE's infinite wisdom,
Oh, God.
Jeff Jarrett was getting toward the end of his contract with them, but he was still Intercontinental Champion. So instead of just having him drop the belt to somebody, they had he was still champion, but he refused to drop the title unless they paid out the rest of his contract or for a certain amount of money.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was. I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that it was China.
China.
I know that he probably was worried that might hurt his career
by losing it to
China.
a woman.
But I don't know. But the WWE just paid him a bunch of money just to drop the title and not make any stink about it. And he used that money to invest in TNA.
Wow, what a prick!
Yeah. So WWE is the cause of all their problems. They really are.
Wow.
I guess if you consider all the other things he's done, he's kind of I don't know the guy personally. As far as a business guy goes, he's done okay, except for one giant flaw, and that is always trusting Vince Russo.
Yeah, it's true.
Vince Russo, the ruiner of wrestling.
Oh, God.
I mean, say what you want about Vince Russo, but it's a little impressive.
And he always goes to him in every different...
He was able to completely devate 2 wrestling companies.
Oh, no kidding. And Jeff Jarrett was with him every step of the way. And it's just, come on.
Well, he was labeled the Antichrist of wrestling, and Vince Russo. And he's fully embraced it. So at least there's that for that.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff Jarrett's in. You got to admit, you got to be shocked, right?
I am actually shocked. When I first heard about it, I was like, but why? Well,
I'm a little less shocked considering him going into rehab last year.
Yes.
And WWE
paid for it. And WWE paid for it.
I'm not as shocked as I would have been, but it's a little soon.
Is he doing the whole life thing, like DDP yoga, life coach thing?
He's doing the gold bar things.
Okay.
He's selling gold bars. He's running a pyramid scam, which is pretty bad. Yeah. Well, good for him, because a year ago he was throwing out tortillas in the audience. Remember that?
Yes.
And now a year later he's in the Hall of Fame. So hey, good for him.
Congratulations.
Maybe he's dying. I don't know. I don't know.
That's wrong.
I'm just saying.
Double J, if you're listening, man, find DDP. He'll make it all right.
How about Seth Rollins tonight? That's why I wore my special Seth Rollins shirt.
Oh, man.
Wrestled for over an hour. I think an hour and 5 minutes.
Hour and 5 minutes, yes.
Which is allegedly, and people are a little fast to jump on this stat.
Yeah.
But allegedly, it is the longest amount of time one wrestler's wrestled on a Monday Night Raw, which could be true. I want to say that's not true for SmackDown, because SmackDown had an Iron Man match one time, but I'm thinking that was only 30 minutes.
Probably was 30 minutes, but for Raw,
it sounds about right. What did you think about this 2-hour match that started the show off?
The first half of it, wow, you went through puberty again. The first half of it was great. It was amazing. Oh, you're ruining it. Quit ruining it. Jeez, I sound like the guys from Monsters, Inc. Okay, Anyway, the first part of it was great. A lot of spots going on, a lot of high flying movements and everything. But the second part of it, it was kind of getting redundant and kind of slowing down. And then towards the end of it, we already knew what was going to happen, the way they had it in match order. But the first part, when it was Seth and Roman,
it was really strange. Was people, because I don't know, call me a fool, but I still deep down believe.
Fool.
Thank you. I still deep down believe, and this is what I want. This is more me wanting.
Okay, this is your
thinking. This is what WWE is really going to do, because if Daniel Bryan,
this is your booking.
If Daniel Bryan has taught us anything, it's what WWE wants to do, not necessarily what we want.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want is Balor versus Lesnar at WrestleMania.
I do too.
I want that, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's very likely, because
yes,
the plan allegedly for a year was that they were going to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. That was always a rumor.
It was always a rumor, but Vince always wanted this to happen.
We believed it because that's the kind of thing Vince would do.
He likes that. He likes big guys wrestling on the biggest stage on on earth.
They haven't put Balor versus Lesnar together. It's like like I think a year or so ago they had Sheamus versus Lesnar, and it was like, well, obviously you're not saving that for a big event. And then they had Big Show versus Lesnar, and then Kofi Kingston for some reason fought Lesnar in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's very possible, but a lot of people on the internet were speculating that when Balor was defeated by The Miz tonight, that was setting up Miz versus Balor for the IC title.
The thing is, I can see that happening too.
But here's the thing. Did not Miz lose to Braun Strowman? So why couldn't you make the argument that it's setting up Strowman versus Miz?
There's another possibility of that going on as well. But, man, at the end of that match, when Braun Strowman had his little, what do you call his shoot right there, on the aisle and talking to Renee Young, he was so over. I mean, I think Vince might be turning around, or Triple H saying, man, I know the original plan was supposed to be for Roman Reigns, but then there was a possibility of Finn Balor, but Finn Balor and The Miz, they could have a great program together. I mean, and you can have the Miz Taraj against the Bullet Club. Balor Club.
You got to think Braun Strowman's going to have.
He's going to have that belt.
I was going to have a what's the word I'm looking for? Like one of the marquee matchups.
Yeah.
Like the Undertaker, Triple H, Shane McMahon, one of the big matches. What that is exactly, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool, because a lot of people are speculating that it's going to be Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie, which Rock's really shown no indication of
not
that
at
happening.
All. It makes.
I think it would make more sense, and it would probably give something Braun Strowman to do if Strowman took that position.
Yeah,
instead
but
of The Rock.
Nobody
would like to. Believe me, I'm with everybody in that.
Yeah,
we would like to see Strowman have his own match, but
yes.
I mean, let's be.
But the
honest.
thing is, also you got to remember what also happened at Survivor Series. Yes, you're right, between Braun Strowman and Triple H when he put his hands on him, but also what Triple H did to Kurt Angle's son. So you had the two UFC, MMA, pro athletes, Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. I see that more of a possibility happening. For Braun Strowman, put him in the Andre the Giant over the top challenge. That little battle royal they have,
no,
and he gets.
They're not going to do that. You know why they're not going to do that? Because they did that last year. It's not going to happen again.
It's not going to happen again.
It's not going to happen again.
Well, it's just they have too many faces on. I was listening to this on another one. They have too many faces on Raw. They need, and people are just getting injured left and right. Like, I can't wait for Samoa Joe to come back and put some, ripple the water again.
Put his hands
on people. Yes, to fight and wrestle, because
it's a good thing Samoa Joe's out right now. I know it's a horrible thing to say, but
man, but he always delivers though. He always intensity. He always gives a good show. He's just an amazing performer.
I think he's got a few years left in him. And so if he misses this WrestleMania, okay, there's plenty of other guys.
Yeah,
there's so many good wrestlers in the WWE right now, which is amazing, because if you think about 2013 or whatever it was, when it was like all they had was Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, and they had they didn't really have that much else.
That's it.
But
and
it's like now we have all this talent, and there's not enough room for anybody. So yeah, that's
I heard that's going on, and I also hear that they might be doing a superstar shakedown, a draft after WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to that because there's just certain wrestlers, and they're just done on one show, and they need to go to the other, whether they're faces or heels.
I've always said I'd rather have it. They do a draft as opposed to a shakeup because. I mean, there's a little bit of an excitement of shakeup because you don't know who's coming. But I mean, I think I personally think it's a lot more exciting when, it's a draft. So Apollo Crews,
who
is the latest victim of losing a name. We've gone through so many. Let's see. Do you see if we can count how many?
Okay.
We got Elias dropped his last was Samson.
Yeah.
Elias. Before that, Damien Sandow.
Damien Sandow.
Did he lose a name? Or am I
No,
tripping?
he just became what was it?
Damien Mizdow.
Damien Mizdow. He was the
I'm
Mizdow.
thinking of somebody else. He never really lost his last name. Who am I thinking of? There's so many.
There's so many of them.
Oh, Rusev. There you go.
Rusev, yeah.
Rusev. What's funny is the guys who were in NXT and they lose a name when they get to the main roster.
Yeah.
Neville was another one.
Yeah.
And then before that, there had to been. It seems like there's been a lot more. Charlotte, but then she gained a name.
Well,
Remember,
yeah.
she was Charlotte, then she gained a name.
She was just Charlotte, and then she became Charlotte Flair because they're like, okay, we have to sell her. So
yeah, it's I hate it when wrestlers lose a name. It's just dumb because we all remember.
Yeah, I mean,
except
it's canon.
Rusev.
Except for Rusev, every day is
Alexander
Rusev Day.
Rusev.
Yes, I think that's what it was. Yeah,
it's been so long, but go figure. Apollo Crews. I don't know. This might actually help him. But
so he's
to
just
me,
Apollo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. To me, if you have a one-word name like a Gold Dust or like a Ricochet or something, you should be like a character.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like if you're like a regular guy like Apollo Crews. You need a last name.
You do.
That's just my personal feeling.
Well,
you'll like this next story.
Okay.
Your favorite wrestler.
Ooh, which one?
Dana Brooke.
Yay,
No,
Dana.
Your favorite wrestler. CM Punk teasing.
Yes.
Teasing a return. You've heard about this.
I heard about this. I was
all in. By the way, has this? This is all just speculation. Even the venue is speculation.
It's speculation.
And you know what? I think it all started with Jim Cornette. I really do because I was listening to his podcast a few weeks ago.
Oh, how he talks about there's no way in hell that they can get that.
Well, by the way, if there's any podcast we will put over on this show, it's the Jim Cornette.
Yes.
Experience.
Yes. He is scripture.
Whatever it's called. What is it? Jim Cornette Experience?
It's a Jim Cornette show. That's all it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, there's a special name for it. I can't remember the name. I'm terrible with the names. But if there's any other podcast over there we'll put over, it's Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette, yes, is scripture.
I think
to me.
he was the one who started this rumor because all the rumors I've seen off of this were from his podcast.
All of them.
Because he was talking about the All In. I don't know if that's the official name of the show. He was talking about a place they could have it because they would need all the independent fans to travel.
Yes.
Is Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
And then he said, well, the one who could probably sell out was CM Punk if CM Punk returned. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, we get all these rumors that it's going to be in Chicago and that CM Punk's going to return.
He might return. And then there was the tease of the Young Bucks making a prototype shirt. Kind of like, how it's like you got the American Nightmare here with Cody Rhodes, but it was with CM Punk with the stars, the Chicago flag underneath it, behind it. And it says, "You're more than welcome."
This?
Where I see? Oh, it was under Young Bucks on Twitter. They sent it to Coach. Of course, that's his tweet his Twitter.
I don't. It's weird because I just
saying
would
you're
think
more than welcome,
that
Punk, if you want to.
I would think that they would do this stuff kind of behind closed doors instead of out in the open. But that's just me. I don't know what goes. Personally, I don't know what goes through the heads of the Young Bucks. Honestly, they're just
chair shots, super kicks.
No.
See, I know you don't like the Young Bucks. I know you don't like.
How would you feel about CM Punk returning somewhere that wasn't WWE?
I'd be thrilled. I'd be happy for him because he could finally do what he always wanted to do. He could be himself like he was. Because remember, he was in Ring of Honor before when he had his matches with Samoa Joe, what's his name? Chris Hero, all the others, there. And they had some great programs with him there. And then, of course, he went to New Japan for a little bit and then came back. And then he got picked up by...
So I want to know...
I would be thrilled and happy.
Because I would have thought the main event of this show, or the featured match, would be Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that was going to be a feature, but where do you fit CM Punk in here?
What I think what they would do if they did it smart, tease it, let Punk be there like in the front row, waving everybody hi, and he's actually here watching, and he's seeing Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega. They flip up, they give, the too sweet or, whatever because I forget it's cease and desist. We won't let him do that. But, say hi to everybody and then let him wrestle. And then towards it, he gets involved somehow. He jumps over the rail, takes them both out.
So you're thinking he wouldn't even wrestle? It would just be a special
It'd just be a special spot. It would just be a spot. That's it. But if he did wrestle, I want him, it would be an opening or a catalyst or something for him to start over again, but this time go to New Japan.
Take away Cody and take away Kenny Omega. What's the biggest name in independent wrestling they could have Punk face right now? Like John Morrison, maybe?
John Morrison could do it, but Chris Jericho.
You think
he's on independent wrestling? He's in New Japan now.
The only
only
complaint I have about that is we've seen Jericho Punk so many times. It's not.
Yeah, but we never seen him in Japan. I'd love to see CM Punk to go overseas.
We've seen him. It doesn't really.
I know. But it's like to fight all the others. It would be great. And I know there's other indie wrestlers out there, but I'm just starting to find all these people now, and just CM Punk would always give a good program for one of them. One thing he'd like to do was help the younger generation and make them, push them up, make them look great. So for their future endeavors.
Well, kind of another big story we've had that dropped. It started out as a rumor this past weekend, and it was confirmed, I believe, today or maybe yesterday. It was confirmed. There will be no more independent brand pay-per-views for at least the rest of the year. It's going to be dual brand.
Yep.
The remainder years. But I don't know if this has been confirmed, but I believe they're going to be 4-hour pay-per-views.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, right? I would much rather have like a 2-hour pay-per-view just for single brands.
Yeah, and it's like for 1 hour, SmackDown, 1 hour Raw, or the consistency that makes up 2 hours. Now we're going to have a 4-hour pay-per-view event every month where it's like watching WrestleMania all day.
You know what I really hate about this?
Everything.
It makes the dual brand pay-per-views, the 4 they have now.
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. It makes them less special.
They're nothing.
Like, honestly, what is the point of SummerSlam now?
Yeah. No, my question is,
if they're going to have, just a pay-per-view before that, it's going to be dual brand, whatever I guess Money in the Bank's going to be dual brand, and that should have been dual brand before.
Since day one. But my question is this. Now it's going to be dual branded. Oh, bless you. Does that mean we're going to have crossovers? Are we going to have a Raw wrestler fight a SmackDown or, wrestle a SmackDown wrestler?
I really hope they contain that to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Because that made Survivor Series actually interesting again.
It did.
Although I really think that whole concept should have been used at Clash of Champions. And I was talking to somebody online today, and they said it really should have been 6 dual brand pay-per-views. With the 4 they have now with Money in the Bank and Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions really should be what its name is. That's a Clash of Champions.
It's all the champions. All the belts are being defended.
Yeah.
And
not necessarily defended, just the U.S. champ versus the IC champ, the Universal
versus the
that
world.
Would make it special. Staying on the topic of SmackDown, kind of. SmackDown, instead of it being Sammy versus AJ, which I would have really liked to have seen a lot more than what they have now. It's going to be a fatal 5-way match.
Yes, it is, because they have to answer the same thing. That's because Raw right now is doing the same thing.
Well, you're talking about the Elimination Chamber, the multi.
Yes, except they have to put them all in there somehow.
I don't know. So who we got? We got Styles.
We got Styles,
Owens,
Sami Zayn, Owens. We
and,
got
Ziggler and Corbin,
Ziggler
right?
and Baron Corbin.
Yeah, Baron Corbin.
The Lone Wolf.
There was one name out of that bunch. I was really trying to figure out where he was and why he wasn't involved in that. I can't remember who I was thinking about now.
Rusev?
That would be a name.
It makes me mad, dude. It's just like, why does Dolph Ziggler deserve...
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, that's another one, yeah.
Why isn't he involved in that match?
I have no idea.
I wonder if he's going to do a little match with Nakamura on that pay-per-view.
Like a one-on-one?
Yeah, like a one-on-one. Maybe just sort of, maybe he can give kind of the rub to Nakamura. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's just Dolph Ziggler. I'm no offense. They're doing the whole CM Punk angle, like they did when he left and he came back, and now he's here and he's demanding and he gets all this stuff now. Now he can leave. I looked at his, about his contract and stuff. He can leave anytime he wants to after he's done with the show. He doesn't have to be there unless he needs to be there. And it's like,
let me tell you the problem with this Fatal 5-Way main event. It is a multi-person match right after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
It's like we've just seen, you're going to try to top Elimination Chamber without a cage. It's just
that's exactly what it is.
It's not. You're not going to do it. It's
You're
going to
not.
be. I mean, all 5 of these guys are great in-ring competitors. Top tier talent. But
the bad part,
I don't know what it's like. It's like comparing it to like.
Money in the Bank without ladders, or a ladder match 5 without. It's
like, okay. It's like having. It's like if Raw was having Money in the Bank as their pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then SmackDown, you had contract on a pole match with just it's kind of a lamer version of the same thing.
And SmackDown, even though they have some of the better wrestlers, of course AJ Styles, who's probably the best in the business right now, in my personal opinion.
I thought you said I was the best in the business.
That's for podcasts. This is WWE. But AJ Styles, one of the best competitors throughout the entire world, like I said, made his living without WWE until they started knocking on his door. There's nothing. SmackDown will always be the B show, unfortunately, and it's sad.
Well, I mean, last year it was doing really great.
It was, but the writers, what happened was Raw was getting very stale at the time. Raw was getting very stale, so they got the writers back from SmackDown to go to Raw.
Yeah, it's
And I want something different, to be honest. I mean, I'd like to see if I may, I'd like to see Sami Zayn.
Why not?
Thank you. I would like to see Sami Zayn go pull. You know how Kevin Owens always goes one up on his friend, and then you show how that he's the heel the whole time, like he did with Jericho. I want Sami Zayn to do that to Kevin Owens, like beat him to it, because it's like the title's on. It's like there's no longer us two. We can be the co-champions. No, this is now for single competition. It's WrestleMania. It's the grandest stage on.
Well, Seth, before we get to your Raw review,
yeah,
and my voice is going for some reason, I want to talk about
feelings.
The third annual Gold Rush tournament presented by Total Championship Wrestling. It's a promotion out of Killeen. Seth, we should have our special guest, Mr. B, call in next week if our phone lines are working. They're not working tonight, but that's okay. It gives us a whole week to promote it, which I like to promote things a little bit.
Nice.
He's going to be a guest. He's going to talk about independent wrestling. He is the current TCW champion, Mr. B. We should have him next week. We'll give you more information on our Facebook page during the upcoming weekend. I'm very excited to have him. We're going to talk about.
I am too.
We're going to talk about the tournament. We're going to talk about what's next for TCW, and we're going to be talking about independent wrestling and his thoughts on that. I can't wait for that. This is a really cool show. For those of you who don't know, that TCW presents the third annual Gold Rush tournament. It's going to be an 8-man tournament, and the winner is going to go on to face the AIWF World Heavyweight Champion. So it's going to be pretty cool. So if you want more information on that, look it up on Facebook, the third annual Gold Rush tournament. presented by TCW. It's going to be in Killeen, Texas. They just did a show out in Belmead, which we missed because we're terrible people.
I got a job, man. I want to go. I want to go to everything.
Can I just say something? This is the reason why wrestling fans suck. It's we want wrestling so bad.
Yes.
And then we finally get it. And then what do? We just miss out on it.
We miss out on it because we're like, oh, there'll be another show.
And folks, if you've only been, now, let me get on my soapbox here.
Okay.
If you've only been to a WWE show, that's great. They put on a hell of a show. They've got top tier talent. They've paid for it. They've trained the guys. It's a whole style. It is an incredible show.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have pyro, not so much anymore.
Not anymore, no.
But they have the best music, production values, all that. Great. Even if it's just a live event and not a TV show, it's a great show. But honestly, you need to go to an independent wrestling show. You just need to. It is a whole different atmosphere. It is so much fun. And not that I'm being paid to put over anybody. I'm not. But it is such a fun experience. I had the pleasure of going to the God Bless Texas show that was done up in Dallas few weeks ago, and which was actually fun because that was the first independent wrestling show I'd ever gone to that I wasn't involved in some way, where I wasn't either a referee, a wrestler, or an announcer or anything like that. I was actually sitting in the crowd,
and you met some famous people that night too. So
I did, and that's another great thing about some of these independent shows. They have kind of these former WWE and TNA kind of Hall of like
NWA, WCW, Hall of Famers.
Like those particular the particular show. I'm just trying to talk. I shouldn't have a podcast. I'm terrible at talking. The particular one I went to had Sting and Abyss, and EC3 was there before he went to NXT. So it was pretty cool. But even then, if you go to an independent wrestling show that doesn't have a former big WWE name, that's the more reason for you to go, is so that they can bring in these names. Because the more people that show up to these wrestling shows, the more money the promoters can make. And you know what the promoters are going to do with that money?
What?
They're gonna turn around and they're going to get the best talent possible.
Yes.
And there's a lot of great talent here in Texas that not only are former WWE and TNA wrestlers, but they're some of the best on the independent scene. I think, I personally would not like to see a Joey Ryan show up, but if he's a draw, fine, that's whatever. And it's not. What the point I'm trying to make is, it's not necessarily all former WWE. It's kind of.
No. You even saw legacies, like the Von Erichs.
The Von Erichs. So
yeah,
do yourself a favor. This is a great opportunity for you to, if you live in the Central Texas area, and even if not, if you live in Austin and Dallas, whatever, just drive down. Check out the 3rd annual Gold Rush tournament. Hopefully we can talk to Mr. Hopefully our phone systems will be up and working next week, and we'll have Mr. B talk about all things independent wrestling, and maybe some thoughts on what he thinks about the big leagues that are going on right now. So, Seth, tell us what happened on Raw tonight.
On Raw tonight, let me tell you, not much. No, actually, there was. Let's see. Like I said, next week they're having
as far as matches. There weren't much.
There wasn't much.
There was only like 3 matches.
That's about it. What was it? Elimination Chambers next week. So they decided to get the same wrestlers who are the same, contenders who are wrestling in the Elimination Chamber, and they did themselves a somewhat of a I can't even talk now. Competition.
I had that effect on people.
Dang it, Mike! Why did you do that? They had a tournament of some but it was a gauntlet match. It was very good, very well put together. Of course, the opening segment was a moment of silence for the fallen at Parkland, Florida, which is our hearts.
I heard they did a really good job with that, too.
Yeah, so it's our hearts and prayers go to them, everything. I'm from Florida originally, so it hit kind of home because I knew exactly where that place was when all those those people lost their lives.
Around the Fort Lauderdale area, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah. But let's see. The show starts off with Roman Reigns entering the ring, and Roman Reigns is the first competitor of the gauntlet match. So it's now written in stone that there will be a 7-man elimination chamber match with all everybody.
I have a
so,
question about that. Did they
Yeah.
ever establish where the 7th man is going to be? Are they going to start with 3 guys, or is it going to be just 2
They're
guys?
starting with
sharing a
3
pod?
guys.
Okay.
4, yeah.
Because I thought it'd be hilarious if Balor and Rollins just had to share a pod. That would be hilarious.
That'd be great. They're playing Connect 4 or something, or they're playing like solitaire.
Honestly, by that logic, they can really start with however many guys they want. You know, they don't.
True.
If, they can start with 50 guys. You know, just have 4 in the.
Give it
pods,
time,
you know?
Mike. Give it time.
Oh,
Give it time.
Don't give Vince any ideas.
Oh, that kid, Michael McBride, he knows what he's talking about. I want 50 of them. You heard me. I said 50.
That would be the thing that gets me hired by the WWE. Is the stupidest idea ever. Anyway,
I wanted to be one of my coaches at XFL.
Please continue.
He has his finger on the
Bullet points,
pulse.
Seth. Bullet points.
Bullet points, sorry. So now it's written that they're both qualified. Oh, it's true. It's damn true, as Kurt Angle said. And after that happened, Roman Reigns is like, it's no big deal. Yeah, my Shield brother is going to be there. So what? It's every man for himself. I'm going to win it. And then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins comes out of the ring, and he's the second competitor for the Gauntlet match. So it begins, the Seth versus Roman, and this match goes very long, for about 30 to 45 minutes. And they're going at it left and right. There was great
Say
spots.
what you want about Roman? He puts on a quality match. Maybe not the best matches in the world, but I mean,
with Seth there, Seth makes anybody look good, and even himself.
Seth is amazing.
He's amazing.
That's what we were talking about. I don't know if it was you and me or talking about, or might have been my brother. We were talking about AJ Styles.
Yes.
Is the one wrestler we can count on to put on if there was a modern day Iron Man match. Like the one competitor we could count on was AJ Styles, and we were having a discussion who could he do a 60-man Iron Man match with, and Seth Rollins I think was the other guy.
Seth Rollins proved it tonight. He went an hour and 5 minutes, defeated 2 competitors back to back. The first one was second one was John Cena. It was a very good match.
I have a question because I didn't see the finish.
Yeah.
Of the first match with Roman Reigns, did he just pin him clean?
No, it was a Rolo. It was a schoolboy.
Well, it's still
Reversal schoolboy. He pinned him clean. 1, 2, 3. Got him out.
So okay, they both still got over. Okay.
They still both got. They
gotcha.
fist pumped each other like it's cool. It's cool. I'll see you at the Elimination Chamber. Good luck.
Say what you want, Roman. He'll put people over.
Oh yeah. Then John Cena shows up. There's no love for John Cena in Phoenix tonight. You know, as always. He goes in there, goes for the quick pin. They go to commercial break. They come back. This match, once again, goes on for about almost 45 to 50 minutes. And it's just near falls, left and right, near falls. And Seth proved tonight that he is Monday Night, what is it called? Monday Night Rollins. He is Monday Night Rollins tonight. He is. He proved it.
I love that gimmick, by the way, Monday Night Rollins.
Yes. John Cena, he put Seth over. He did I think he did a curb stomp on him, didn't he?
It was a funny business going on there too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, first he did the knee thing. First he did it's that knee or whatever it's called, where he flips him over, turns him around, and gives him.
No, but it wasn't like John Cena let his guard down or something. I didn't see the finish of this match either.
Yeah.
I don't watch wrestling. No, go ahead.
But then the third, of course, was after that, Elias showed up, and Seth was already his tank was empty. It was done. It wasn't hard for Elias to beat him.
I love that because we get into these things where like a wrestler will fight off like 3 guys, and then it's still he had to be hit with a chair in order to be pinned.
Yeah.
I hate that. Why can't a guy just be tired from wrestling like 5 other guys? You know why?
But this was the thing that got to me though. This Seth's match with Roman and Seth's match with John Cena was pay-per-view quality. And then when Elias showed up, I'm glad he's getting pushed into the A-list now, but it turned into Monday Night Raw. It felt like, okay, now I'm watching Raw. Those other 2 matches were amazing. They should have saved that for like a pay-per-view thing or whatever, or maybe a special, time, whatever. But after that, it got into redundancy again. It's like, okay, here we go. Here's a move. Here's a step. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Then we get Finn Balor comes in, and Finn Balor and Elias both fresh wrestling. See, everybody in the audience is thanking Seth Rollins for an amazing performance. Next, Finn Balor wins the coup de grace on Elias, pins him 1, 2, 3. Next competitor is The Miz, but of course we see The Miz Taraj coming from down the aisle first, and then he's like, "Where's The Miz?" Of course, Miz comes up from behind him. They all three start attacking him. He tries to pin him. Of course, he's unsucceeded at doing that. They go to commercial break. They come back.
Too fast. I can't find pictures. Go.
What are you doing? Like boom, boom. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just kidding you.
Okay,
Please.
but it goes on for a bit. Finn Balor once again throws on a phenomenal match. I mean, he's just amazing at everything that he does here. I'm glad. I'm kind of glad that Vince is now so busy with his XFL wet dream that's not going to go anywhere, and he's letting Triple H and Stephanie have more control of the company and creativity now. Like, this is what our audiences want. This is what it's about. You know, more progressive. You know, move on.
Bullet points, Seth. Bullet points.
Sorry. Well, anyway, after that, we see Miz goes with a skull-crushing finale on Finn Balor. And then, of course, he wins. But, of course, everybody in the audience and commentary is like, don't celebrate too early, Miz. Of course, Braun Strowman is our last competitor, and he just cleans out house. He destroys the Miz. He destroys Miz Taraj, and he wins the gauntlet
What the hell
match.
is that noise behind me?
Jesus.
I'm so glad you're here, and I'd be so creeped out if I was in this building alone.
It's Papa Shango. He's putting a curse on you.
Papa Shango, what are you doing over there? All right.
Ooh, he's deep in prayer.
Oh,
He's doing his prayer on you. Anyway, he cleans house. Then he goes back. He talks to Renee Young, and he goes, "Excuse me, I got to go and finish business." Goes back. He destroys him again. He pretty much calls out Brock Lesnar, calling him Beastie Boy. I'm coming after you. You know, you're going to get these hands. It was a good match. It was a good promo. Next, after that, we have... it was 2 hours of the gauntlet match, pretty much. Now we're down to the last hour. Asuka's coming down the ring. Asuka's having her promo. You know, she's doing her shoot in the ring, learning the English language very well. I applaud her. She was doing great. Nia Jax comes out of nowhere, destroys her, and they leave it up in the air for their fight. That's going to happen next week at the Elimination Chamber.
Fight.
Yeah, I know. Match. Yeah, their match. Next, we have a promo of Ronda
Cracks me
Rousey.
up when you call it a fight.
I know.
It cracks me up.
Next is the promo of Ronda Rousey practicing at the WWE, centers and stuff. And I'm not impressed. I really don't care about this. I know I'm one of the few people, but I don't care.
I don't care about Ronda either.
I don't either.
I'm mildly curious to see how she
That's
does.
it.
You know.
That's it. Next, we have the Bar versus...
I thought it sucked that she sort of undercut the whole first woman's rumble.
Oh, and I agree with you. There's a lot of
showing up and not doing anything except pointing. But anyway, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you on that. The next is the Bar versus Titus Worldwide for the 20th time again. I don't know. We need some new tag teams on Raw.
Well, they have tag teams. They just don't want to have them wrestle anybody.
I don't know. I just put Balor Club back in it or put the Revival. There was no Revival. And these guys are really balls to the walls. They're great.
They're doing this thing with Anderson and Gallows, the Revival. So.
We'll have a triple threat tag team, bout or something.
I don't know.
Okay, but next is, of course, Titus Worldwide picks up with the pin and win, which in the future they talk about. They're going to get another tag team bout, title match.
They're setting them up for Elimination Chambers.
Okay, that's what we got. Next we have the two competitors who weren't in the gauntlet match. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt have a promo.
Well, they're not in the Elimination Chamber match.
They're not. Oh yeah, they're not.
They're
That's
not.
right. Oh man, it tells you how tired I am. That's
Yeah,
right.
They're gonna be going 1-on-1 at
Elimination Chamber. You think we'll see
Sister Abigail?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry. No. We'll say that for WrestleMania then. Okay, they continue and it goes on. Obviously, it goes on. Next, we have the main event, 6 women's tag team matchup. Team Face, which consists of Bayley, Mickie James, and Sasha Banks. And Team Heel, I was kind of confused about this. We had the 2 members of Absolution, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And with the WWE's Women's Raw Champion, Alexa Bliss.
The Paige was there, right?
Paige was there, yeah, in their corner. But it's just, I thought Alexa was turning face because she helped. Never mind. Anyway, Team Face wins, and there was no cruiserweights tonight. That's the end of the show.
What did you think of tonight's show with the 2-hour gauntlet match?
That should have been that should have been
the 25th anniversary.
yes.
That's what I was thinking. So they should have done that for the 25th anniversary.
That should have been the one
Instead
thing
of
for the
what we
25th
got.
anniversary, or just for tonight for the 3-hour show. It should have just been them.
They should have had for the 25th anniversary. They should have either had a Gauntlet match or an Iron Man match, and had other matches going on during that at their other location.
Exactly.
You know, they could check back in with the Iron Man match.
Yes.
When there's a lull in the action, they could go and see them. You know, what's done is done. We're not going to ever get those 2 hours of our life back, or 3 hours. That 25th anniversary, I still can't get over.
Oh God,
how much
it's. I ain't gonna lie, it sucked. It was terrible. It was sloppy.
One thing I skipped over was what's her name, Dana Brooke, complaining about why can't she be the 7th woman in the Elimination Chamber match because there's 7 guys.
Yep.
And it's like, because you're not a draw. You know, it's like,
well, they haven't given her the chance.
She's not. You know, they've given her a chance. When she
well,
was,
I know that at first
when she was
always,
the lackey for Charlotte. She's. You know,
and that's what they're afraid about. I understand that, but now that she's on her own, she's done a little bit better. I say give her a chance. I mean,
she's got plenty of time, so it's
they
not like
gave Alexa. I can't even talk right now.
Yeah. Before I move on,
Yeah.
there may be some people that are tuning in for the first time wondering what in the world is that championship next to. That is, of course, our pay-per-view championship. For all the here's the thing about that, kind of screws up the dual brand pay-per-views. Kind of screws up our thing.
Yeah,
because it was for the big four. We had a contest to see who would be the pay-per-view champion between us and the guys over at In Your House Sports. I guess we're still gonna do the big four, but it's not as special now because it's.
Do we need 2 belts now?
Yes.
I've got championship belts. You know, that's the thing, though.
You have much better looking ones than the.
Yeah, I've got
than
AJ Styles belt.
Big gold one. God, I'm still mad at myself. I mangled that up.
It looks great.
It should have just been the original in WCW title. But anyway, we're gonna do a little spot here called the Tweet Spots.
Oh, my favorite.
It's Seth's favorite.
It is,
apparently. And when we come back, I will turn the mics back on. Hopefully,
just keep the mics on.
We
can sing along with the song that you have tonight.
I like to say offensive things.
Okay.
No, I'll leave them on. Why not? All right, here we go. This is Double J's music, by the way.
Oh Lord, you had to go with that one. That's Double J.
I really did pick the worst music. Like, honestly, I thought it was his Attitude Era song.
Oh God, no, it's not.
It is definitely not. It's his first.
It's his first song. I'd rather hear Mr. Perk.
He actually went out to the ring with this music?
At the very beginning of his career, he did in WWE.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yep.
This is the most god-awful music.
God-awful.
I mean, I guess it's good for getting heel heat.
Yeah, what about Papa Shango's? Can we get his going on? I'd rather listen to that. Something tribal.
Well, we're almost done with the tweet spot.
Okay.
Right now, so let's just. I apologize to all our viewers.
All 2 of you.
No, we've actually had quite a few tonight.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. Thanks, guys.
We're finally catching on, Seth.
Oh God, I hope so.
We're getting into our groove.
Into our demographic. Yes, I love it. When are we gonna get the T-shirts?
Well, that'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it?
That would be a sweet deal. I actually know somebody. They're helping me with the other one, our horror film.
That's enough out of you, Double J. All right, that's over.
Oh, thank God.
That was painful.
That was very painful.
Should not have been painful.
I cried a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Seth.
Yo.
Let's take a look back in history with this segment on this day in wrestling history.
I see clearly.
On this day, now that I have come alive. I always forget the words there.
On this day, I see clearly.
Hey, Seth.
Yo.
50 years ago today.
Well, shit, I was only 2 years old.
50 years ago today, Bruno Sammartino defeated Bull Ramos in the main event for the world title, WWF World Heavyweight Championship. What was so special about that? Can you guess what was so special about that?
Was this after winning the title? This was the longest title reign.
No.
Nope.
This was the main event of the very first show at what is currently Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
Very first wrestling show. Madison Square Garden is, I believe, in its fourth incarnation. But 50 years ago, this was the first wrestling show to be held at what we now know as MSG today, which, of course, to WWE, they have a long history with MSG.
It's the Mecca, as they call it. Yes.
23 years ago, Super Brawl 5, WCW's pay-per-view. It featured Hulk Hogan defeating Vader to retain his WCW title. 16 years ago, Chuck and Billy, and I'm going to talk about this in a second.
Oh, God.
Chuck and Billy defeated Taz and Spike Dudley, probably the most forgettable tag team champions of all time, Taz and Spike Dudley.
Oh, they were.
Did you even remember that they were tag champs?
Just now. Oh, my God, I remember that.
Here's what's scary. It has been 16 years since Chuck and Billy, Chuck Palumbo and Billy Gunn.
Yeah, Billy Gunn,
those of you who aren't informed. It's been 16 years since the Chuck and Billy gimmick. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That is a long time ago.
That's a long-term relationship.
And honestly, it just feels like last month, Chuck and Billy with the red.
Red bands and the blonde hair. Yeah. God.
It does not feel like it was that long ago.
No. 3-minute
I'm
warning.
getting old. 12 years ago, WWE presented No Way Out. It featured some of the following matches. Chris Benoit defeated Booker T for the U.S. title. Randy Orton defeated Rey Mysterio to earn a shot at the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania. You may remember that was the year Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble. But he then went on to lose like every single match afterward.
That's right. Led him up to WrestleMania.
It was crazy.
And then he won WrestleMania.
And then he then he gets beat by everybody, and he gets beat up so bad that like the GM's like, oh, we're gonna have Randy Orton probably deserves a shot too. So then it became a triple threat with him and Ray. And
yeah, they were just racist like they always are.
Yeah, it was not great.
It was not great.
And that was the whole during the time where Ray kept going, "Oh, Eddie, you got me, Eddie." This,
Oh God, yeah.
It was all Eddie's doing from heaven.
From heaven.
Yeah. That pay-per-view, sticking with No Way Out from 12 years ago, it featured Kurt Angle defeating The Undertaker to retain his World Heavyweight Championship. 6 years ago today, WWE presented Elimination Chamber. This is what's really messed up to me, is because I remember this Elimination Chamber clearly. This was the one that had the two Elimination Chamber matches, the two men's Elimination Chamber matches, I should say. CM Punk defending the WWE title in one. And Daniel Bryan. This was the one where it came down between Daniel Bryan and Santino. If you remember.
Oh God, yes.
Remember they were building up Santino so big, and like he had gotten that. I think a spot had been vacated or something like that.
And he got it.
And he got it. And then they did the whole Rocky montage where he was
clearly the underdog of underdogs.
Drinking the eggs and everything, and it was just. It was real hokey. It was so hokey and dumb.
So bad.
So that's what that was. And it wasn't even the main event.
Nope.
At a pay-per-view called Elimination Chamber that featured two Elimination Chamber matches.
And you kept saying that.
John Cena versus Kane in the ambulance match was the main event. How bad is that? That's pretty bad.
John Cena don't care.
You know what's funny is I remember this was 6 years ago, mind you. I remember thinking Kane needed to retire 6 years ago. And he still...
No.
He was in the main event in Royal Rumble,
Yeah. He ate a pin. That's all he did.
So, a couple of birthdays we want to acknowledge and celebrate today. Big one, Big John Studd celebrates his birthday today. Francine.
Francine.
Yeah,
okay.
ECW's Francine. El Torito, the... little person who teamed with the
Matadors.
And Ty Dillinger. 10, the perfect 10 himself, Ty Gillett. Also, I think he turns 10 years old today.
He'll always turn 10 every day. He's a perfect
Every day
10.
he'll turn 10 years old.
But the funny thing
really
is,
weird.
but here's the irony of it all. All those birthdays that happened today, they fell on a certain special day. That's every day. Fell on Rusev Day.
Rusev Day, yes.
That's right. So it's kind of very impressive.
Every
Rusev.
day is Rusev
Every
Day.
day is
What are you
Rusev
talking
Day.
about?
And yes, here in Ringside Review, we honor that tradition.
Yes.
Yes, we celebrate
Happy
Rusev
Day.
Happy
so.
Rusev Day to you, Mike, and to you, Papa Shango.
All right, before we get out of here, we are going to talk about, we're going to crowned.
You sound like me now. Crowned?
This is the Special Olympics of podcasts.
Oh, stop that. Oh, we're going to get calls for that. Oh, come on.
I'm allowed to say that.
I'm allowed to say that. We're going to crown a new top 10 tonight.
Well, we every week we crown the best ever of something.
Gotcha.
Whichever,
It is. We can remember.
So, yeah, if we remember. But I just need I'm just setting up some stuff right here. And so this week we're going to crown who's the best wrestler to have the guitar gimmick.
That would be Rick the Model Martel.
Well, no.
Damn.
Now you're just being foolish. Come on.
Am I?
I'm going to go through some options for you, Seth.
Okie dokie, Floki.
Here's first option number 1. When Stone Cold Steve Austin turned heel and did his little backstage segments with Vince playing guitar.
Oh, God.
That was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. Somebody from the country couldn't sing country music.
Yeah, it was it was pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Next up, The Rock. When The Rock had special story time, The Rock.
Yeah, those were good.
On Raw. And actually, he brought it up in the past, too, before that. Back when he was a big-time heel. Next up, I want to especially put this one in. Hulk Hogan with his guitar.
Oh, his bass.
Let's put it in his little entrance video. Next up, I don't know if you remember this guy. Do you remember Man Mountain Rock? He had a guitar.
What was his look?
Well, he kind of had this raggedy hair that was dyed, and he almost looked like a reject Nasty Boy.
Ugh.
And he was wearing this kind of moo kind of thing, but he had a guitar. He had a guitar.
Good observation. We had a moo and he had sideburns.
He's probably on your screen right now if you look it up. He's been on there.
Well, they're showing Hogan right now for the moment. Okay, so
he had a WWF shaped guitar, which honestly, how much money would you pay for that guitar right now? I would literally save up as much money as I could to buy that WWF
Oh my
guitar.
God. I would save so much money for that damn guitar. It's the old WWF logo too.
Yeah, it's pretty
yes, it's pretty fucking wicked.
Funny enough, he didn't get over.
Wow, really?
It's
what
amazing,
a shame.
right?
It's amazing. He
didn't get over with
Bummer.
that gimmick. Then of course our Hall of Famer for the night, Jeff Jarrett.
That's Double J.
Pictured here without a guitar. But of course, he was the first person since the next person we're going to mention to really bring back the guitar and make it popular. And that is, of course, the great Honky Tonk Man.
I was about to say, there's only one, baby.
That's the quintessential.
That's right.
And I don't think I'm
one of the great and
anyone else except for this last one. And that is, let me see if I can bring him up real quick. Yes. That is the man who we walk with on Monday night, on Raw, every Monday night, Elias.
That's true.
Seth, so you got your choices there, and I think the top three are Jeff Jarrett, Honky Tonk, and
Man.
Elias. And you're probably going to be shocked by this. My pick is Elias. I think Elias, and I know he's still new, but I think, honestly,
he surpassed Honky Tonk.
Years from now, we're going to look back at Elias with the guitar. I think he's going to be the greatest wrestler ever to have that guitar gimmick. I know that's sacrilege because you're thinking about Honky Tonk Man.
No, but I think of Honky Tonk Man, but there's one thing. Honky Tonk Man never played his music live.
That is the point I was getting to next.
Elias plays music.
Elias can actually play.
And he plays it really damn good, too.
The only thing that hurts Elias is he's not allowed to bash it over anybody's head now.
Yeah, he just hits him in the back now. He just hits him in the back.
I think he has resurrected the guitar gimmick.
I agree.
I think it's awesome. I think he'd get over without the guitar.
Yes.
I think it's awesome that he has it. I think he's going to eventually drop it. But as far as right now,
he is.
I got to say, he's the greatest.
He's the greatest. I agree.
And I think that's amazing. He's still relatively, I hate to use the word rookie when it comes to WWE. But
he is. But yeah, he's still green.
He's just amazing.
He's still amazing. But like I said,
they would have never put Honky Tonk in that Elimination Chamber. I'll tell you that right now.
No, they would not.
No. They probably would. Who knows?
But then again, you got to give it up for runners-up or maybe, mentions of. Braun Strowman did have a good, he did have a good run.
Cello, yeah.
With his cello, yeah. He was very Peter Steele with that thing. He was very typo negative. But yes, Elias, we walk with. You are the best wrestler with the guitar. You play your own music. I've seen you live, front row, me and the missus, and you're awesome. I mean, you ripped your shirt up and you threw it at my wife, and my wife went crazy.
I honestly thought you were going to argue with me on that one, but
no, Elias, because he plays his music.
It's got to be Elias. So
Elias,
I just showed a picture of Braun.
But yeah,
it's a point of reference for anybody out there who was confused. I feel like it's our job to educate people. So congratulations, Elias. Congratulations to Elias.
We walk with you.
We walk with you, Elias.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Nothing but future and for love for you, man.
Don't forget, next week, it's a big show for us. Not the big show. A big show for us. We're going to be talking to Mr. B. We're going to be talking about what happened at the 3rd annual Gold Rush tournament, which we've been invited to, by the way. It's in Killeen on this Saturday. It's a little short notice.
It is.
I'm never say never. Who knows?
Same here.
It's worth a shot if you can go to it.
Yeah, being a bartender, that's my money. That's my paydays. But I'm going to do everything I can, Mike. I promise. I'll do everything I can.
So we strongly encourage everybody to go out to the show this Saturday.
Support the independent scene.
Yes, support independent wrestling.
Please.
Please.
Because these guys are the reason why Ring of Honor is popular. These are the guys that started all. These are the ones. They're the backbone.
As the great Jim Cornette said, wrestling is a great American tradition.
Yes.
And it should be kept up.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and plug my shows I've got coming up in the week. We've got a new all the shows are new. The Michael McBride show with Michael McBride this Wednesday. You can find it on the same Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
It's me and the fellas, and we're going to just be joking around and knock on wood, Randy's there. Randy's always entertaining.
Randy!
And so that should be fun. And then Friday night, we have some Friday night fun. I'm not sure exactly what's going on Friday night, but I'm pretty sure we'll have a Heart of Texas air dance party like we did last Friday.
Oh God!
Which, if you missed it, it was 2 hours, and we had lots of fun. I went on a car ride with Randy. It was terrifying.
Oh.
If you'd like to, and I was on the phone the whole time too.
Oh, I've got to listen to this.
And I was on the phone the whole time, so I was giving you a play-by-play, and
it was terrifying.
Of course, on the iRadio Waco network, there's plenty of other shows. There's In Your House Sports.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Nerd Cave. Maybe whatever this yak thing is behind you, we're still not sure. Mm-hmm. They have all their equipment set up in here, but I've never heard anything
Never
from
seen it.
So,
I think it's just for show.
You know, if you guys find out what that is, please
let us know. Jeez, we want to know too.
We have no idea. That's a shoot. Seth, you have a podcast you do on Sunday nights.
I do. You can find us on blogtalkradio.com/totally driven. And it's me and the missus. We do a horror film podcast called The Best Little Horror Podcast in Texas.
You know, Seth, this is really...
and it's every Sunday, and it's live from... I'm trying to think of 4 p.m. 3 p.m. Central Time. And it's 2 hours.
Next time, give me a little graphic I can put up.
Gotcha. Absolutely.
I'll give people a little bit more information.
No problem.
So that'll do it for us tonight. We're getting out of here in an hour, which is amazing.
Oh, my God.
I know, right?
Oh, and once again, we got to give it up for our...
Papa Shango. Yes.
Papa Shango for our guest here.
Thank you for coming out
tonight.
Thank
you, Papa. I hope I have good dreams tonight and good fortune.
Yes.
And you don't curse me.
Don't curse us.
Don't curse us, please. And if you're going to do, make sure she's hot, okay?
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us tonight. Hard Texas Air for Seth Holbrook. This is Mike McBride signing off.